kind of early on you put her on the spot doing a hard sell for the club and Toastmasters and finishing her speeches, and I'm not sure that puts people at ease right away.
Okay, thank you.
I was confused whether you were doing an interview or a conversation. Which is it?
It is a conversation.
Yeah, this felt like an interview. You were asking questions, you were not self-revealing, you were driving the conversation until the very end, and it seemed just, I mean, if that happened to me in a conversation, I'd walk out. I didn't sign up for an interview at this party, right? And I would be suspicious why somebody was asking me all these questions and not sharing information, so it didn't come off to me.
I see. So I should have been sharing more of my own experiences and viewpoints as well.
And answering questions from the other side.
It's Anthony.
We need to transition. The questions came off kind of rapid fire because the question was the first thing that kind of came out. For example, you asked about do you cook, and then afterward you said something about since you do gardening. I think in a normal, and part of this is because of this project, just part of these questions, but in a normal conversation you'd probably be like, oh yeah, you know, tomatoes, they probably do really well in spaghetti. You know, I like it in spaghetti. Do you cook? So it's kind of almost like a transition to the question as opposed to the firing of the question.
Me, 2 years ago, I did the same project. That was my first speech at Next Step Toastmasters. So some of the people in the room remember it, and Vish is not here right now. He was my, he played the role of, he played as my partner then. He was harsh. She was at least smiling, and just still trying to make an effort. Now, one thing I noticed with the two of you was that the physical distance was growing as you were speaking. If anything, you should have been at least coming, want to come closer to each other. Or if you want to get to know the person better, you want to drag her to, say, the lectern and say, let me show you the membership form or the Toastmasters manual or whatever it is that you want to show her. But you can tell that the conversation isn't going so well because you guys are going away from each other. The manual also talks about yes-no questions. And I know the manual by heart because I've done speeches on this project. So they say don't ask the question, so when will you finish your CC? Eventually. So things like that, those close the conversation.
So I had two things. One was, I thought the way the role play, I believe, and Azul can correct me if I'm wrong here, was supposed to start was abruptly. I think you started it as your conversation saying, oh, we already met and I asked you to do this, but that wasn't the point of the role play. The point of the role play was you were here, she's just entering the club, and now how would you approach her? So the initial breaking the ice is the toughest part, because usually people aren't waiting and hey, why don't you talk to me? They're doing something, and you have to find a way to get their attention, start the conversation. And I think that's kind of the most difficult part, which I think Atul did, trying to pick up food or something in the cafeteria. The other part was going back or piggybacking on what Anthony was saying. I think one of the mistakes we do when you want to try and talk to someone and having a conversation is you have a set of questions that you were planning. What if there's no answer here? And I'll go here. We forget that we got an answer and you can continue making a conversation rather than go to the next one in your mind. So like he said, you want to stick to one area and get to know each other because you're sharing the passion of vegetables. It doesn't matter whether you really like vegetables or not. But the point is, you want to stay there because that's obviously something that she wants to talk about. She also asked you a question in return, which is what do you do, which was great because when someone asks you a question, they're obviously interested rather than just answering because they're be rude. And yeah, I would also agree with Carlos that if you ask so many questions, I'll be like, okay, I think But yeah, good attempt. But like I said, I think see how would you break the ice? Think about that.
Okay, we only have one more time for one more. If we have time for round robin, we'll pick it up then. Sure.
You know, one of the things that I really enjoyed how you were kind of conversing with her, not so much with ease though. Hard sell, but what I really enjoyed was that you were finding whether it was planned or unplanned, you were relating a lot on your career and your gardening. But I went through an exercise in the past, and this is a while back, but I decided to go throughout my whole month on my birthday, which was June 8th, so that whole month of June, without asking any more questions. Anybody. And if I wanted to ask a question, I would rephrase it into a statement. And it's amazing how people are just encouraged to talk by just saying a sentence. And it's a lot more with ease because, like, you know, our fellow Toastmaster said, when you ask questions after questions, they might be cutting it short, just it's stressful, it's nervous, they're like, yes, no, in 2 months. And they just want to end it, but when you say a statement, they don't know. So that's an exercise that I thought would be
So
interesting.
instead of questions,
Statements, and I bet you'll get stuck, but you have to work through it. Repetition.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.